This is Austin St. John, Jason, the original Red Ranger. You are watching the Morphin Network.
Today's Morphin Network video is sponsored by Ranger Stop and Pop, which is March 5th to the 7th, 2021 in Atlanta, Georgia, and Ranger Stop Convention, which is now November 11th to the 14th, 2021 in Orlando, Florida. Go to rangerstop.com for more info.
Well, wasn't that a good intro? Hey guys, welcome to another special episode of Ranger Comic Time. Woo! I know we only do this, we only do our podcast once a month, but thank you guys so much for tuning in. And as many people don't know, the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger comics has ended, right? And the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comics has been split into half. Mighty Morphin issue 1 and Power Rangers issue 1. For the sake of the storyline making sense, I actually combine them both from now on because it's very confusing to just review one and instead of the other. So yeah, here is my take on Mighty Morphin issue 1 and Power Rangers issue 1. I kind of wish, in my opinion, I've always said this, I didn't really like that they split it in half because in my opinion, it should have just kept on going Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. They could have kept on going after 55. They could have just kept on going because in the Power Ranger issue, it doesn't really even take place in Angel Grove, really. It's more like focusing on the Omega Rangers. So that's just my thing. I would have made it better as in like I would have continued MMPR series and then have the Omega Rangers be called just the Omega Rangers comics. It makes it better and because it's not really Power Rangers, they're more like Omega Rangers. So yeah, that's my take. Oh yeah, thank you guys so much, and let's get started. So before I start, I just want to show you guys this comic book cover, Mighty Morphin issue 1. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. Look at it. Look at it. I love it. Honestly, I love the artwork in these Power Ranger comics. Mighty Morphin and Power Ranger comics. They are just so good. But this cover right here, it looks so good because like the White Ranger, who's now Tommy, you remember Tommy lost his powers as a new Green Ranger. And if you followed Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 55, which is the last issue in the series, you'll see that there's a new Green Ranger appeared, but we don't know yet who it is. It could be Lord Dragon. Who knows? So yeah, just want to give you my input on that. The cover art is beautiful and flawless. So yeah. So I just want to get you started on this. The Mighty Morphin issue number 1. The issue focuses on the Power Rangers in Angel Grove, not the Omega Rangers. Like the Omega Rangers are kind of included. It's kind of weird, but it's just it's more like in one perspective of just the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in Angel Grove, and it's more in perspective of Omega Rangers. But they're still in the same timeline. They're not separate or anything. They're kind of like a puzzle piece together. So anyway, if anyone gets confused. But yeah, so this issue actually opens up really beautiful. It opens up 10,000 years ago in the planet Artavius, where the Space Ranger Guardians, or I don't know how to explain it, looks like they're fighting these space aliens. And can we just appreciate the opening page of this? Look at this right here. Oh my god, look at that. That was by the way 10,000 years ago, and I love the way these like Guardians look. They remind me of I don't know how to explain it. They remind me of Guardians of Asgard. I don't know if you guys watch that, but yeah, it reminds me of that, and I love the way they look. It really does emulate how the current Power Rangers look because of their tight bodysuit and everything. And yeah, the Guardians it seems like the White Ranger we see is Zordon right here. So I want to show you. We see here is Zordon. This Guardian right here, who by the way is an Eltar. For anyone that doesn't know about Zordon's backstory, Zordon is a Guardian who defended planet Eltar, I believe. And right now, we get this really cool look on him. I really like the way Zordon looks. People thought that I remember they did a comic variant of him looking like a Power Ranger. I don't think it's necessarily he's a Power Ranger. I think he's just a Guardian looking like a Power Ranger. Perhaps maybe they're like the prequel to the Power Rangers. That's how I see it. They're predecessors of part of the Power Ranger series because remember Zordon recruited a group of high school teens. So yeah, I really like the way Zordon looks in here. Giving that out. But yeah, and we get a really good glimpse of Zordon's backstory. Like we never really got a good glimpse of Zordon's backstory because remember Zordon is just like a big blue head and command center. So it was really cool getting to see that and learning about Planet Artavius like 10,000 years ago and what happened. So yeah, I really like that. Zordon, by the way, in my opinion, is like a really cool. Like I really like the way he looks because he looks like a blue warrior. He looks like the Guardian of Asgard. Sling you right now. So yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry. I was reading something. I was reading a little bit of comics. So, and then it's on to the next page. This takes place, by the way, in present day. The next page in present day, we see Zordon talking to Billy because they don't know about the mysterious Green Ranger. Because remember, in the last issue, the new Green Ranger showed up. We don't know who it is, and remember, we are unable to track him down. That's also the hardest part. So we don't know who he is. But Billy and Zordon's asking Billy what's going on. But Billy, who by the way, who doesn't know, Billy's the hidden snitch in the group because he's working closely with Grace Sterling, but he's also keeping it a secret from Zordon. But remember, Billy doesn't really know who this new Green Ranger is. So I really like that intake. So we don't know. We don't know much about this. We don't know actually much of the Green Ranger. My assumption when I read the was it Mighty Morphin issue 54, 55, my opinion, I think it could have been Lord Draken, but who knows? I could be wrong. So yeah, and then back in the oops, okay, back in Angel Grove, the Rangers are talking about what happened. Adam, on the other hand, thought that it could be Lord Draken, but now that Lord Draken's, but how could it be that Lord Draken saves the day? Lord Draken saves the day, and then comes back to his cell. You know what I mean? So I thought that was really interesting since you remember when the Green Ranger arrived, his camera went off. So yeah. And also I really love how they thought the new Green Ranger could be Ernie. From Ernie's by the way is a high school classmate from Angel Grove, but we don't know yet. We don't know who the new Green Ranger is because could it be that Lord Draken escaped, became the new Green Ranger, saved the day, then afterwards come back to his cell? That wouldn't seem likely, because Lord Draken's in his cell. So in here, Tommy actually states that maybe he might join our team because Tommy feels optimistic about the new Green Ranger. We don't know about him much about because he's also easily undetected. So yeah, on to the next page, we see back at the moon. By the way, Lord Zed is passed out because remember in the last issue he absorbed the chaos crystals, so he's really passed out. So the minions, Babu, Squat, and Finster, and Goldar, they don't know what to do. But Babu, who by the way is a little bit of a traitor, he's really scared because Lord Zed might kill him if he were to come back, and alive. Because remember, Lord Zed, um, what you call it? Lord Zed's pissed off that they could that they failed their role as the Dark Rangers, and they couldn't they weren't able to defeat the Power Rangers that way. So yeah. So who knows? And then on to the next page, you see Angel Grove takes place in Angel Grove, right? Rangers go back to school. We see this cool thing where Tommy gives a smirk at Matt. Matt, by the way, is Kimberly's ex, and I thought it was really interesting because Matt's like, "Hey, I'm Matt," and like Tommy does this really, really horrible thing where he's like, "Yeah, I know who you are." So you can tell like Tommy's really jealous. And for anyone that doesn't know, Matt was featured in Go Go Power Rangers. He was remember him and Kimberly had a really bad breakup because Matt was traumatized because he was taken to the moon. Well, his putty Matt, the clone Matt, was sent on Earth, and like the whole time he's just like traumatized, and so it caused Matt to break up with him. And I think Matt lost all his memories regarding what happened, being in the moon and whatnot, and Power Rangers. So yeah, I thought that was just a really cool, funny scene between Matt and Tommy. They're all fighting for for Kimberly. It's cute. And on to the next page, we see Bulk, Skull, and Candace are hanging out, but Bulk's kind of a little bit mean to Candace, and Skull, by the way, is like really angry at Bulk because Bulk doesn't really like Candace because he feels like a third wheel, and I could understand that because it's like two bullies like are hanging out all the time. They're like the best duo, right? But we see that like Candace is kind of like kind of taking in the way, and and by the way, I really like the way Candace looks because Candace looks like an e-girl. Like I love Candace's look here because she straight up looks like an e-girl. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just like the way Candace looks. And yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, on to the next page. We see Aisha and Kimberly. They're having a conversation with Bill about talking about Billy. And I love Aisha. I think Aisha is really smart. She thinks she has a very different, weird perspective. Where Aisha views it and thinks that Billy might be behind something because Kim tells him that because you remember like Billy had access to the green coin morpher, but Billy according to what he said to the Power Rangers has no knowledge of it. And of course Kimberly tells Aisha, "Oh no, I don't think Billy would ever do that. He would never lie." But in fact, Billy is the snitch in this situation, but we don't know yet. I just really like seeing as how Billy, the smartest person is also the one who could also be, behind the scenes doing something, behind their back. So yeah. So we get to the next page, right? Billy's talking to Zordon in the command center. Zordon talks about his past as Eltar, and Billy asks him if he misses his planet, and Zordon says he really does. He misses everything. And I really like this because like it alludes to what's been happening with Zordon 10,000 years ago. Remember, he was a guardian protecting Eltar, fighting space aliens. We don't know much detail or anything, but I like to see that Zordon has more personality. He has more human interaction in here instead of just being told what to do, telling them what to do, or like commanding the Rangers around and whatnot. So yeah, I like more of Zordon here. And yeah, I like Zordon the way he's portrayed in this comic book issue. On to the next page, we see the putties in Angel Grove and this cool looking panda. By the way, they call him Pandemodium. I thought it was really really cool. It reminded me of one of the fighting game characters from Tekken. But yeah, the putties and the Pandemodium, they attack Angel Grove. Right, the Power Rangers arrive. They do their morphing thing, and then the brand new Ranger shows up out of nowhere, right? So Adam then right when the Power Rangers sees the new Green Ranger, right? Adam then contacts Alpha and asks him if he's in his cell. And you find out that Lord Draken is actually in his cell. So the new Green Ranger is not Lord Draken after all. And this whole time I had this assumption because remember Grace Sterling gave him the option, would you like to be a Green Ranger? And I really, really thought Lord Draken would do it, but I guess not. So the new Green Ranger confirmed is not Lord Draken after all, getting you out there. And what I also liked was how Rocky was like saying, "Adam, you owe me $10 or something," and I thought that was a really funny, funny thing. So yeah, on to the next page. We see like they're fighting them, right? But you see that the new Green Ranger easily defeats Pandemodium. Then Tommy comes over. New white. By the way, Tommy's the White Ranger. Talks to him, but the new Green Ranger escaped. Doesn't even talk. He just escape and teleports. So I guess the new Green Ranger does not really want to be friendly. I don't know what's going on with the new Green Ranger. So yeah, on to the next page. We see Lord Zed. He finally wakes up, and you find out that the green chaos crystal actually is absorbed into his veins, which by the way was really cool. So the Lord Zed finally wakes up, and the next page gets hella interesting because like when Lord Zed had this wonderful, powerful plan about the green chaos crystal, all his veins go flowing through him. We see this next page where it was like Skull and Candace. They're on a date, right? But Candace does something really weird. Where Candace tells him, "Oh, I left my phone at the restaurant. Can you pick it?" So then Skull, being the good boyfriend he is, was like, "Okay, I'll go pick it." So then, while Skull was away from him, Candace is talking to some like black silhouette. We don't know what's going on, but he goes into this. Candace goes into this alleyway, and we see her walking, talking to some person, and this person's telling her that the mission is getting closer than it is. Next thing you know, Candace's arms goes blue, and then the last page, we see her in her true blue form, just like Zordon. And here, I'm gonna show you that photo right here. Right here, beautiful. We see her in her true form, like Zordon, and she says, "Eltar must be protected." And oh my god, this was the biggest cliffhanger because I never thought that the e-girl Candace would would be the hidden Eltar. So I love that cliffhanger. Oh my god, that makes me want to read Mighty Morphin even more. Whew, that was perfect. But yeah, I would give Mighty Morphin a 9 out of 10. This one was really good. It was a good opening. It was a really good opening. I will say this: if you just started off barely reading just Mighty Morphin issue 1, I think you won't understand it. Even though I know it's the first issue, it's you still kind of need to read Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the issues before that, to understand this. So that's my only intake. The reason why it's an 8 out of 10, a 9 out of 10, is that like I'll understand it, but I know the people who are starting off reading an issue 1, Mighty Morphin, won't understand it. That's just my thing. But yeah, and on to the next page, we see Power Rangers issue number 1, which, by the way, for anyone that doesn't know, is focused on the Omega Rangers. So the Omega Rangers, in Power Rangers issue 1, it should just be called Omega Rangers. I'm just saying, um, Power Rangers issue 1, they are practicing their fighting skills, right? And can we just appreciate this? So back in Omega Rangers, remember they're in space and they travel through multiple planets, multiple planets to save, the world, take them to new safe haven, and they also seal bad monsters. So like while the Power Rangers are fighting, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers are fighting in Angel Grove within their planet. Omega Rangers are outside trying to stop evil from happening. So yeah. So in this opening scene, we see the Omega Rangers are actually practicing their fighting skills, right? I just want you to look at how beautiful this artwork is. Just look at that. Look at that. That's Oh my god, I love the way this look. I love the way oh my god, it kind of reminds me of what's that game I forgot to play? Half-Life I forgot what it was called, but oh man, that artwork is beautiful and I just really like that. So onto the next page, we see Yale, who by the way, we found out is no longer empowered. Yale is, by the way, that gray big gray cat, fox looking thing. So is now their ally. So Yale's no longer in power. And that this monster cat looks really cool, by the way. And so I thought that was really cool. They're still in Omega Rangers are in space, by the way. On to the next page, we see back in Angel Grove. The Angel Groves the Rangers are actually having a fun time at the beach. Next thing you know, it the Omega Rangers come back for the weekend to see them, right? And I love this scene because it's like they're finally welcome in open arms, but the Omega Rangers didn't come there to vacation like they assumed that they were. The Omega Rangers came back to let them know that they wanted to warn them about something. So the Omega Rangers and the Power Rangers come back to the command center, right? And they they wanted to inform Zordon that they fought this really extremely overpowered beast called Imperial that can wipe out a planet at an instant. And they warned them about how immensely powerful it is. And not only that, he's also undetectable. So that's why we don't know much about them. So here, I'll show you it. So this is what Imperial looks like from the screen. It is amazing. By the way, this Imperial monster that they're talking about reminds me a lot like the angels from Neon Genesis Evangelion. It has that flow. I don't know how to explain it, but it really reminds me of one of the angels from Neon Genesis Evangelion. If you guys haven't watched the anime, go watch it. It's beautiful. I love the Ava palettes. But going on to what I was gonna say, yeah. So what I also like was because the Imperial, remember, was on issue 54 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That issue 54 only focused on the Omega Rangers. The thing about Imperial is he can put dead things back to life, and he can put life things back to death. So it's like a reversal thing. He can like put things together and take things back. And that's what's really cool about him, right? What's really cool about the Imperial. Next thing you know, they go to Draken's cell, right? Remember, Draken's in his cell. And Draken knows who Imperial is and finds out they're coming to Earth. That's also the reason why Draken escaped and went back to planet Earth. This is also where Omega Rangers found out that Lord Draken is hidden in his cell, and they found him. They found him. So the Omega Rangers, because the Omega Rangers knows that Draken knows more about the Imperials. You find out there's more Imperials than one. And the Omega Rangers request Zordon to release him so they can track the Imperial and put a stop before anything worse happens. But Zordon, he refuses to let Lord Draken out of his cell. And so back in Angel Grove, so then of course the Omega Rangers was pissed, right? So back in Angel Grove again, we see the Omega Rangers come back and the rest of the high school gang, right? So the Omega Rangers, remember, everybody thought in Angel Grove they all went to a peace conference. So the Omega Rangers comes back and Skull welcomes them with open arms. Remember that because of the whole peace conference, reality, they just actually just in reality, in terms of the acting scene, they actually just left the Power Rangers. But yeah, I forgot. You watching the movie? I don't know if you guys watched the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger movies, but they talked about that. So yeah, remember that. And I just really love this scene because like the Omega Rangers are still themselves. They're still they're still their like personality. They haven't changed, even though they've gone to multiple planets. They still are their genuine selves. On to the next page, we see Rocky training martial arts with Jason Lee Scott. Two Red Rangers. They're finally having a heart-to-heart talk. Rocky and Jason Lee Scott are having this beautiful heart-to-heart talk that I've been wanting because remember, Aisha and Trini had their heart-to-heart talk. Same thing as Adam and Zach, the Black Rangers. So finally, I get this beautiful heart-to-heart talk that I wanted. And so while Rocky is and Jason are training martial arts, Rocky tells him if being the Red Ranger means that he has to be a leader. And this is where Rocky feels doubtful because remember, all the Red Rangers are technically the leaders in the group. He points out multiple examples where sometimes Trini has to be the leader, so then she's the Red Ranger. And yeah, so then I love this issue. I love this thing where Jason replies with saying that your role doesn't have to be determined by your color. And that really just reminded me because remember in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, the Blue Ranger, I forgot, not the blue, the one with the blue mask, I forgot his name already. Leonardo or Michelangelo or something like that is the leader of the group of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And if you read the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers crossover comics, you'll find out that the Blue Ranger was in charge of the Megazord. A little info. And I really like that. And I feel like Rocky really did redeem himself in this because you remember Rocky always had doubts saying, "Am I capable of being a leader?" Because you can tell that Tommy has taken over the Power Rangers. So yeah, and I like this heart to heart talk, and I like it. So then towards the next page, when Omega Rangers says goodbye to the Power Rangers, they make a plan to get Lord Draken out of the cell, right? So I knew they were gonna do this. I love that they didn't follow Zordon's answers. So then the Omega Rangers they disobeyed Zordon's orders and was able to get Lord Draken out of his cell. So then this little fight scene, this little scene that they had to go through metal detectors, not detectors, but they had to go through like infrared cells, not just bombs, but like, communicators and what that was really cool, just trying to get Draken out of his cell. Because remember, they need Lord Draken, since Lord Draken has the peace and knows more about the Imperials more than anyone. They need him to help find and put a stop to the Imperials from coming to Earth. So yeah, so then Omega Rangers, Omega Rangers were able to get him out, but then like Alpha, or is it Alpha 5, I think, was of course hesitant. He didn't want to attack the Rangers, but it seems like right when he was ready to attack the Rangers to stop them from what they're doing, we see Lord Dragon just punches him. Oh man, it was pretty sad because like they were like, "Don't hurt Alpha," but like you can tell like Lord Draken says, "Don't worry, he'll be fine. He'll be rebuted." So yeah, and in this issue, I thought it was kind of emotional because the Red Omega Ranger, Jason, says, "I'm sorry." And Zordon says, "This is ultimate betrayal." Because remember, Lord Draken wasn't supposed to be at his cell. Zordon tell him, "I feel betrayed." And you know what? Red Omega Ranger says, "I'm sorry," and then leaves the Omega Rangers leaves with Lord Draken with them. Which, by the way, this beautiful ending. This, by the way, the last page of the comic book series is beautiful. Look at that. Just oh my god. Oh my god. Just I love this right here, because it goes to show you that remember like when they were trying to release Lord Draken says that I'm not going to be the best help. And of course, like the Omega Rangers, they don't really care, but I guess like, they're going to force him out of his own will to fight. So and help them out. So we'll see where it goes. I want to see since now that Lord Draken's out of his cell and we still don't know who the new Green Ranger is. I want to see where this goes. This one was really thrilling, extremely thrilling. I give it a 9 out of 10. Same thing as I said in Mighty Morphin. If you didn't read the MMPR series beforehand and you just read Power Rangers issue 1, you won't really understand what happened. But I mean, it's still really good. I will say this is very menacing, at least for me, because this is the first time I see someone of the Rangers clan portray Zordon, in the comics. So I want to see where that goes. 9 out of 10. The artwork, I will say, the artwork of this compared to the Mighty Morphin is way better. It has more. I don't know. I love the backgrounds. The backgrounds, especially this one right here, is just so beautiful. I love this like futuristic look. I love the way the Omega Rangers look. They are just spot on and perfect. So yeah, that's my final review of Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers issue 1. And yeah, now on to what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, the comments. Let me read the comments. Oxy Ranger R69. What's up? Hi. Could be Trek before he was Green Psycho Ring. Could be Trek before he was a scene. Oh, I think I know what he's talking about. He's talking. Oh yeah. So do you think it could be Trek because the new Green Ranger? Well, I don't know. I actually don't know who could be the new Green Ranger. I really want to find out because it's obviously not Lord Draken like I thought it was. So yeah. And then Foxy 3 Ranger 3 R3X9 says, I love that the Power Ranger comics books. I can't wait to see what's next. I honestly can't wait to see what's next. I love the Power Ranger comics. And I'll continue doing it. I do love that they do have 2 more comics because you remember they had Go-Go Power Rangers and Go-Go Power Rangers and MMPR has always been the main series. Now that it's split in half and still continue the storyline, I want to see where they go. Maybe they'll do a little more backstory with like Lord Draken and not necessarily like Lord Draken in like Ranger Slayer. I want to have his own. Not okay. I know they have Dragon New Dawn, but I want to do something where it's before all of that, like more of like what happened to him while he was in space, like while he was walking, his experiences in Imperial, reason why he escaped Earth. Like I want something where it's like a prequel to what was happening in issue 50, I believe, when Lord Draken came in like a comet to planet Earth and screaming, they're coming. So that's what I would have loved. So yeah, and then Ashu asked me, they do. Oh, okay. I don't remember what I was replying for, and I was reading the comments and I forgot. My personal Power Rangers season that is also my favorite season. I love Cole Evans, the Red Ranger. He is my favorite character. Power Rangers Wild Force. I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought this was my favorite. My favorite Power Ranger season is Wild Force, Time Force, and In Space. Those are my favorite. In terms of like, no, hold on, I'm trying to think. After in terms of like Disney, not Disney, with post Disney, I forgot what it's called. Saban. Dino Charge wasn't bad. Like, okay, I don't really like the Nickelodeon Power Ranger seasons, but I would say Dino Charge was probably out of all of them, it's pretty good. I would say that's me. So yeah. So in terms with the comics and yeah, in terms of social media plug and everything, want to let you know that you can find me on Instagram at Jen Messina, that is GNMESINA, and you can find me on Twitter at JenPink2, that is GenPink2, and you can find all our social media sites at Facebook.com/MorphinNet, that is MorphinNet, and then Instagram at MorphinNet, that's MorphinNet, and comment if YouTube at MorphinNet, also, or is it Morphin Network? But yeah, and thank you guys so much. I'm going to continue making live stream videos both on Facebook and YouTube. And yeah, see you all next month, and I'll be reviewing issue number 2 of Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers issue 2. And thank you guys so much for all your support. It really, really means a lot, with all of you guys, and I'm so thankful. You can tell I've won up the thumbnail. I really love this thumbnail that we have going on, with our announcements and everything. And yeah, thank you all. I think that's all I have to say. My closing comment for today is stay safe. I know it's Thanksgiving week. I know we're all going to be celebrating Thanksgiving with our families, in person or virtually. Who knows? And please stay safe during Black Friday sales if that's still going to happen because of Rona. But yeah, just be thankful and be blessed and happy Thanksgiving. Well, happy early Thanksgiving. But yeah, thank you. Bye bye.